I love that song. And every time I sing it, I laugh. Any fool can do it. Apparently, I'm not a fool, because I have a real hard time doing it. Y'all may have noticed that about me in the past. And so I've been on a mission to enjoy the passage of time, to stop doing for a while so that I can be and be present. And it's been very, very healing, very, very healing, and very, very restful. So first of all, thank you for the opportunity. I didn't know I was going to cry, but there I go again. All right. So I planned this sermon title before my sabbatical, thinking this will be a perfect subject because I will have learned so much about Sabbath by the time I come back. So, Sabbath is from the Hebrew Shabbat, which means cease or desist. Traditionally, it's the day of holiness in the Jewish tradition, from sunset on Friday until nightfall of the following day. From the moment that sun sets until the next day when the stars come out. So it's a little more than 24 hours of rest. But here's the deal. The Jewish tradition is not the only tradition that has a Sabbath. Religious traditions and cultures all over the planet have always had a time of built-in rest. And we in America today have lost that. By doing things that make life more convenient, we thought, we've just upped the bar over and over and over again. Now, some of you are too young to remember a time when you had a phone at home, and if somebody tried to call you and you weren't there, they just went, oh, they must be not there. I'll call them back later. And it wasn't a big deal. Now, I haven't been able to reach her for 5 minutes. Where is she? What's going on? I've been texting all day, you know? We do that. Now we made it more convenient for us to communicate with each other, and now we demand that we communicate with each other every single minute of every day. How do we do that? I remember those old commercials. I wasn't alive then, but the old commercials in the 50s. And I think I learned about going through Epcot one time, the little Planet World thing at Epcot, where they were saying how all these modern conveniences, the Jetsons, all these modern conveniences were going to make it so that human beings had everything automated, and then they just sit around and relax all the time. Isn't that what's happened? Yeah. Now we have a washing machine and a dryer. So instead of spending all day on Monday washing, you have to fit it in between every other thing that you're doing. Yeah. So we've done this to ourselves, and I indict myself here. I do it to myself. I go, well, I have something at 1 and I have something at 2:30, so I should be able to do something at 2. We do that to ourselves, and we take it in from the outside. Other people are doing it, so they expect us to do it. Or we might be judged if we say, no, I'm already doing one thing that day. I'm just not doing anything else. Imagine if you just said that. Oh, no, I've already got one thing on my calendar. That's enough for me. It's enough for me. So I don't have the answers, but I have a lot of questions. One of the beautiful things about the Jewish religion and bringing in Sabbath is when it is welcomed in with the lit candles, it is traditionally known as welcoming in the bride. Shekinah in the Jewish mystical literature, is the feminine aspect of God. It is the mother, the nurturer, the protector, the compassionate one. Sabbath actually comes from the meaning, or Shekinah comes from dwelling or a settling. It is about hospitality. It is about God in a place, not just God everywhere. But, when God is everywhere, that's awesome. But sometimes I need God to be just right here, right now. And thinking of it as everywhere doesn't necessarily do me a lot of good until the moment that I go, wait, and it's right here, right now, in me, at this time, in this place. Bringing God into place. I love that idea of light a candle and invite the bride in. Light a candle and invite the mother in. Light a candle and invite the nurturer to spend some time with you while you don't multitask and try to talk to her over your shoulder, but where you actually spend a little bit of time. Sabbatical has the same root as Sabbath, and it means an extended period of time intentionally spent on something that is not your routine job, a break from the ordinary. This idea of welcoming in and making a sanctuary of ourselves comes from Exodus chapter 25, verse 8. Then have them make a sanctuary for me, and I will dwell among them. So one of the things that I noticed when I decided I was going to slow down for a while is that you can't hurry sanctuary. You can't hurry up and get prayed up. You can't hurry up and meditate. You can't hurry up and get a good night's sleep. There are certain things that only happen in this physical life over time, and if we don't give them the time, then we are robbing ourselves. No one else. We're robbing ourselves. Well, we are robbing other people too. We're robbing our families. We're robbing the people that we want to spend time with by not giving them our presence. Have you ever been with somebody in the room with them? You can see their body right there, but you absolutely know they are nowhere near. I have done that. I have been that. I have been that. My daughter tried to teach me from birth. First of all, she came 4 days late. I spent more than 40 hours in labor because she just didn't want to come out. And then every day of her life, I remember getting her ready for school, and we'd be like, we came out on our front porch, and then there was a sidewalk over to the driveway where the car was. And every day we come out, we're in a hurry, because she was always running late. We're in a hurry, let's go. And she goes down the sidewalk like this. I'm talking 3-4 years old. And what did I do? Oh, here's my beautiful daughter. I have a chance to just slow down and take in the wonder of her. No, I jumped over the flower bed to go around her to get in the car and roll down the window and say, "Come on, Aaron." So I came by this naturally. Apparently this has been going on for a really, really long time. So here's what happened in my sabbatical. I was sick for 3 weeks. I'm talking Sunday afternoon after my last Sunday here, I went home, and that evening I was like, got a little scratch in my throat. Maybe I just sang too much today. And the next morning I woke up and I went, "You have got to be kidding me." And I didn't take Sabbath the first week. Some of you might remember that I was actually going to a conference where I was going to be working very, very hard. I was directing a choir, I was singing, I was teaching classes, I was performing, I was at Unity Village, and I was sick the whole time. But I'd already promised I was going to do it, and so I did something different this time. Every moment that I wasn't on stage or in front of a class doing what I had contracted to do, I was in my hotel room resting. That is not like me. That is not like me. So I did that. It was a little thing. And then I got back. I made it through the week. I got back, and it's like, okay, now I'm going to rest a couple of days and get well and then start my sabbatical. 2 more weeks I was down. 2 more weeks before I felt good, before I stopped coughing, and it wasn't COVID. I tested for all that stuff. 2 more weeks before I felt good. And so here's what I did. I'd be in my chair, I'd be reading my books. Reading is my favorite thing to do. So I'd be reading my books, and then I would have this thought, you need to get up and do something. And then I would tell my thought, wait a minute, your job today is to heal and rest. It's your job to heal your body and rest your body. That's your job. Well, I want you to know, even if you're not on sabbatical, that's your job. No one else is going to do it for you. No one else is going to heal you. No one else is going to rest for you. You have to do it for yourself. And it was very revealing to me how many times a day I thought, I got to do something. I got to do something. And had to then tell myself, no, you don't. Actually, you don't. Oh, remember? You don't. You don't have to. As a matter of fact, you're not supposed to. I did a lot of reading about sabbatical before I went on sabbatical, and I was determined to do this right. And after 3 weeks, when I felt a little better, I was like, okay, now there's stuff I should be doing. What should I be doing? And what I did is I asked myself, what do you feel like doing? And sometimes it was doing things that were productive. And often it was doing stuff that wasn't productive in anybody else's world, but that allowed me some time of creativity, some time spent with myself, some time spent with my family, some time spent with a friend, some time spent reading a trashy novel. Because I've always got at least 3 spiritual books going that I'm reading from for hours every morning, always. But this time I was like, no, okay, I'll read that. And I did. I read that stuff. And what I did when I was reading that stuff, because here's what I usually do. I go, oh, that's a sermon idea. And I have a journal right next to me, and I'm writing down, and let me expound upon this idea for a while. That's what I usually do. And this time I went, nope. If it's a good idea, it'll be a good idea in 2 months. And I sent myself an email. I sent an email to my church email address, which I did not check on purpose. Yesterday, or day before yesterday, Wednesday, whatever day that was, Wednesday, I opened my email for the first time. And mostly I had emails from me. So I will take my time exploring those. Did I open them? No, I did not. So I had lots of ideas, but I purposely didn't follow up on those ideas. And one of the things that here's the deal. I wanted to have gratitude for the creativity, that yes, as I read, my creativity will be sparked. I will have ideas. So what if, instead of working to fulfill it really quickly, so you don't forget, what if you just have gratitude that you had this idea, that it's within you, that your heart continues to want to create, that you continue to want to give? Have gratitude, and also trust. If I feel creative today, chances are when I get back to work, I'll feel creative too. I don't have to do it right now. I can trust the creativity. I can trust that that's part of who I am. I don't have to cram it at this moment. Here's what I said that I wanted from sabbatical: to focus on my own soul's path and purpose, to bring new life into my spiritual practice, to honor my relationship with myself and the God of my understanding, and also to recharge emotionally and physically, to fill up my tank, so to speak. 1, get some rest. 2, go on at least 1 formal spiritual prayer retreat. 3, devote time to nourishing my creative and musical heart, and take in the beauties of art, literature, and nature, so that I could return to you spiritually nourished, rested, filled with inspiration, and excited to resume our journey together. That is a quote from the newsletter that I sent to you before I went on sabbatical, and every single one of those things has come true. So thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. So my Sabbath goals were met, but goals are not very Sabbathy, y'all. But here are some things that I learned, and this is what I want to bring to you in Sabbath time. Because Sabbath doesn't have to be a day from Friday to Saturday. Sabbath can be an hour. Sabbath can be Sunday. Sabbath can be a Tuesday afternoon. Sabbath can be, I woke up this morning and I'm feeling like I need rest, so I'm going to take me a Sabbath at least until lunchtime and then check in with myself and see how I feel then. We used to call that a mental health day in the working world. Sabbath can be any time, but here are the things that have to be in place that I've learned. I have to stop rather than finish. Sabbath means cease or desist. It doesn't say wrap everything up so it will be done and then you can rest. It says stop in your tracks. Because here's the deal, you'll never be finished. You weren't put here to finish. I had to really face that. I wasn't put here to finish. I will never be finished. I didn't slow down enough before to really know that about myself. I will never be finished. It's never done. It's never over. One thing's wrapped up and then the other thing begins. And that is called life, y'all. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. So if you want to have some time to stop, you just have to stop. This is the time I'm stopping. And that's the beauty of the Jewish Sabbath, is that it's like, oh, sun's down. Doesn't matter where we're ready or not. It doesn't matter if everything's cooked. It doesn't matter if all the work that we wanted to do before Sabbath is done. It's time. It's time. And so can you give that to yourself? Yes. Can you allow yourself to stop without finishing? My grandmother was a great teacher of this. She used to say, my ninny, we called her ninny, when we would gather at her house for dinners, she would cook for days, and there'd be these elaborate dinners. And I'm talking like the table in the kitchen, the table in the dining room, and then there'd be rented tables set up in the bedrooms. There'd be so many of us, all my cousins. And we'd have this meal that many of us worked on together, generally none of the male persuasion, but that my grandmother slaved over for days. And then we'd get done, and we would take our plates to the kitchen, and then somebody would start doing dishes, and my grandmother would say, absolutely not, no, 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 no. We're here together, and we're going to visit. We're here together, and we're going to visit. She would not let you do the dishes. Now, if you spent the night, you'd do them the next day. And what she used to say is, listen, if the world's not going to end tonight, there's always tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. I'll do the dishes tomorrow. And if the world does end tonight, I don't want to spend my last day doing dishes. That's what she said. Now, I heard that, but did I really hear it? I'm starting to actually hear it. I'm starting to actually hear it. And then the other thing that happens when you allow yourself to stop, because I had to stop first. It seems backward. Number 2 for me, though, was slow down. I wasn't able to slow down and stop. I had to stop. And then from stopping, I found that I could slow down. So I took Bob with me to my conference because I was worried about his health and I didn't want anybody else's eyeballs on him but mine. And so we went to Unity Village, which if you've ever been there is a beautiful, beautiful place, nature, just a lovely campus as well. Now I have been there, I don't know, 18, 20 times in my life at least. For conferences and meetings over the years. But it was only his first time there, and he was walking with a cane because, as y'all know, he broke his hip a few months ago. And so I walked with him from our hotel, which was quite a long distance, to the place where I was teaching the classes and where all of the performances and stuff took place. And between here and there were gardens and fountains, and little bridges over the fountains, and people everywhere. And I can tell you that I never once, I went, oh, pretty fountains, but I was always, I'm getting to the place that I'm going. I didn't stop to talk to people. I didn't look at the fountains. I didn't look at the gardens. I knew they were there. Yay, pretty gardens. Here I go. You can't enjoy gardens on speed dial, right? And so I slowed down. And I walked with him because it was more important for me to be with him than it was for me to get there quicker. And I learned that I was never actually late for anything. That my getting there after having walked slowly did not in any way materially affect the job that I did while I was there. It was huge. And it made me think a lot about Erin, about my daughter, and what I may have missed when she was young and I was her mother and was always in a rush and didn't want to amble along with her but wanted to jump ahead. So slow down. You can't open your heart quickly. You have to learn to open your heart. And what am I fighting anyway? Where is the race? Slow down. Slow down in traffic. Slow down. If you're going to give yourself a deadline, really think about how much energy it's going to take to accomplish what you need before you start telling other people about it. And if somebody gives you a deadline, think about what energy it's going to take for you to meet that, and then be honest about, I'm not sure. Maybe that needs to be break line, not a deadline. Maybe I need to know something about whether that's really doable rather than saying, nope, this is it, and then killing myself to make it happen. Deadlines. What am I worried about? Judgments? What if somebody's going to judge me for moving slow? Like I've judged other people for moving slow. Because I have. Please, just get out of my way. Ideas of perfection, ideas of being right, ideas of being good enough. All of those things were wrapped up in my not wanting to slow down. And by golly, if I get nothing else from this time apart, it is that I want to continue to slow down. Not always. I'm still me. Still going to do the things that I do. But to slow down a little bit. And here's number 3. Here's the payoff. When you stop, you'll be able to slow down. And when you slow down, you will notice that you have time to look around. And when you look around and within, you realize that you are on sacred ground. Always. At this very minute, here is the sacred ground. But you won't know it. You won't know it until you stop and look. Take the time to look. There's no such thing as wasted time. I'm going to say that again. There's no such thing as wasted time. There was time of your life spent. How are you going to spend it? Are you going to spend it rushing and missing everything? Or are you going to spend it actually taking in what's going on and being present to it? These are the lessons that I have been learning. And I say have been learning, not have learned. Because the proof is in the pudding. It remains to be seen whether I will take these lessons and move forward with them. But I'm telling you, it is my intention to take these lessons and to move forward with them. And just to allow myself to take the time that I need to slow down and to realize at every moment that my feet are standing on holy ground. I want to read a couple of quotes. One is from Mike Dooley, who writes this little daily meditation or daily inspiration called Tut, the Universe. Have you noticed that the more you hurry, the slower you go? The more you wait, the longer it takes? The more you worry, the less you dream? But the more you live, love, and laugh, Melinda, this was addressed to me, the more you live, love, and laugh. And isn't that the gift? I want to say one more thing, because here's the deal. Yes, it is my goal in this life to be a healer. I claim that who I am is someone who brings healing, is someone who brings love to situations, who brings compassion. Not perfectly, but it's what I want to do. It's the thing I want to do the most. It's what I spend the most mental energy and time on. And Pema Chodron, wonderful Buddhist nun, says, having compassion starts and ends. Starts and ends. It's all about, in other words, having compassion for those unwanted parts of ourselves. The healing comes from letting there be room for all of this to happen. Room for grief, for relief, for misery, for joy. That means we don't try to pole vault over the things that don't feel good, but we allow the slowness to prevail even in those times. Because you know what else you can't hurry up? You can't hurry up grief. You can delay it so that it just keeps hitting you sideways for the rest of your life. Or you can slow down and experience it, and you will get to the other side. Doesn't mean it's over, but you will reach a point where you're on the other side of it. So self-compassion, even as I watch myself not slowing down, is what I intend to take forward and what I hope you can take forward from this today. I'm so glad to be back. I love you so much. Thank you. So now we're going to hurry up and meditate. It's going to take a couple of minutes here. We're going to take as long as it takes. And I ask you to just breathe. We're always breathing, but we seldom notice that we're breathing. And yet, if we ever stopped, we would be very aware of that. So I invite you in this moment to notice that you're breathing and to feel the gratitude for life. For your life, certainly, but your life is just an expression of the one life. And so let's have gratitude for the whole thing. I am part of this one life. Breathe it in. I'm an expression of this one love. Breathe it in. And take just a moment here and now to invite into your mind, into your heart, those things that you can truly say you love. The people in your life. The joys of certain things that you do. The beauty that fills you up every time you see it. Breathe those things in. In your head, you might want to name them. And as you name them, you might want to just give thanks for them. With any luck, you'll be overwhelmed by the number of things that you love as you let your mind wander. You might not be able to name them all. And then you can be grateful that you have so many blessings that they are actually unnameable. And allow that gratitude to just be who you are, to just live within you. It always lives within you as a bud, as a potential. But in this moment, we're just going to give it a little time to bloom, to flower, to open. To flourish. And to bless all that blesses us. If it feels good, you can express that too. Thank you that gratitude feels so good when I remember to go there. And now among all these things, all this beauty, all this creative life, all of these people, all of these happenings, these activities, these parts of the world that bring us joy and that we say we love. Bring your little self to the forefront of all of that. Because all of these things are blessings because you realize they are. Only you can do that. And so bless yourself. Thank you, self, for stopping and slowing down and paying attention. Thank you for the rewards that paying attention brings. Thank you for being a vessel of attention and intention in my life. Thank you. And also, I forgive you. I know you don't always pay attention. I know that some things go by and you just miss them. No sense in spending time on regret. Then we'll miss even more. And so we just say, I forgive you. That's what we do. We're human. We do this. And there's more. And in this moment and the next, there's the opportunity to enjoy the love and the beauty and the wonder and the awe. And to bless this expression, this individualized expression of the one love that is me, that is you. That is your connection to all that is. Give it love. Take a moment to enjoy that you are you. A one in infinity uniqueness that shares beauty and enjoys beauty and notices beauty in its own individual way and adds to the knowledge of beauty for all of us because we are one. Yeah. Take that, self. Take that amazing blessing. Take that love and know it's who you are and it matters. And maybe take a moment to just decide when we start to feel overwhelmed to stop. Not get finished, there's time to finish later, but just to stop. To go within and to find this love, to find this light, to find this place of blessing, this sanctuary that we build in our own hearts. Allow that divine love to have its way in the sanctuary of your heart. And to remind you that you are now and have always been and will always be on holy ground. Let's breathe in again. Let's blessing the truth of that. And so it is. Amen.